6 years after our painful breakup, she's back. But can we truly start over? Getting back with someone after 6 years, and it's complicated. It was the summer of my 18th year when I first met her. Let's call her Neha. She wasn't just another crush or fleeting high school romance. She was everything. The kind of person who'd light up a room with her laughter and make you forget all your worries with a single smile. Back then, I thought I had it all figured out. We were young, reckless, and completely in love. For 2 years, Neha was my entire world, and I was hers. But life had other plans. During that time, my life at home was a mess. My dad had been cheating on my mom, and the household was like a war zone. There wasn't a single day without yelling, tears, or slammed doors. To make things worse, my cousins, people I once considered brothers, betrayed me. They got involved in some shady business with psychotropic substances and decided to frame me when things went south. They used everything they knew about me against me, including details about my relationship with Neha. I didn't know it then, but those same cousins contacted Neha's family, pretending to be my parents. They threatened her parents, saying that they'd sue them if she didn't break up with me. Neha didn't tell me any of this. One day, out of the blue, she called and ended things. No explanation. No closure. She just said it was over. I tried to reason with her, begging her to tell me what had changed, but she stood firm. "It doesn't matter," she said. "It's for the best." I was devastated. It felt like I'd been hit by a train, but I didn't know what had hit me. At the same time, my family was falling apart, and I had no one to turn to. Heartbroken and angry, I left my hometown and moved far away for college. For years, I carried that pain with me. I didn't know the full story, but I convinced myself that Neha had abandoned me when I needed her most. Every time she tried to call or text, I ignored her. My anger wouldn't let me forgive her, and my pride wouldn't let me ask questions. Years passed, and I did my best to move on. I got into another relationship, though. In hindsight, it wasn't fair to my current girlfriend. I was trying to recreate something I'd lost, holding on to memories of Neha even as I told myself I'd let go. My ATM pin, for God's sake, was still the date Neha first said yes to me. That's how hooked I was, even after all that time. Then, 4 years later, Neha called me again. This time, I picked up. Her voice was shaky, almost hesitant. The first thing I asked was, "Why did you leave me?" And then she told me everything. How my cousins had threatened her family, how she thought it was my parents behind it all, how she'd cried herself to sleep for months, missing me but too scared to reach out. Hearing her side of the story was like a punch to the gut. I didn't know whether to feel anger, sadness, or regret. All I could do was apologize for what she'd been through, even though it wasn't my fault. By then, we were both in new relationships, so we decided to leave the past behind and move on with our lives. But life, as it often does, had other plans. Earlier this year, both of us went through breakups around the same time. And somehow, as if the universe was giving us a second chance, we reconnected. At first, it was just casual conversations, catching up, sharing stories, and reminiscing about the old days. But soon, those late-night talks turned into something more. We started meeting up, going on dates, and falling back into the rhythm we once had. Yet, things weren't the same. Neha was still carrying the weight of her last relationship. She told me she wasn't ready for anything serious. "I don't want to dump all my traumas onto you," she said. "You deserve better than that." I respected her honesty, but it didn't make things any easier. On one hand, I still loved her. I never really stopped. But on the other hand, I couldn't ignore the years of pain and heartbreak that had shaped both of us into different people. We've had amazing moments together, moments that make me believe we could have a future. But there's also a part of me that wonders if I'm just chasing a ghost of what we once had. Am I holding on to the past because it's familiar? Or is this really a second chance at something real? I'm at a crossroads. Should I follow my heart and take a leap of faith, hoping we can build something new? Or should I make peace with my past and let go for good? For now, all I can do is take it one day at a time.